Hello viewers, a very good afternoon. Welcome to our FB live session. Today, Dr. T. Ravi Raju joined with us. He is a senior most consultant in the Department of Nephrology at Apollo Hospitals, Health City, Visakhapatnam. Dr. Ravi Raju Tatapudi, MD, DM, FISN, DSc, FRCP, is currently Distinguished Professor and Advisor, Geetham University, and Member of Governing Council, National Board of Examinations, New Delhi. He had a brilliant academic career. He did MBBS and MD, Internal Medicine from Andhra Medical College. He secured gold medals in medicine in UG and PG. He did DM Nephrology from prestigious PGIMR Chandigarh. He worked in various capacities in AP Medical Services and occupied positions of Professor and Head of Nephrology, Principal of AMC, Superintendent of KGH Hospital, Director of Medical Education and Vice Chancellor of Dr. NTR University of Health Sciences. He is one of the senior-most nephrologists in the country, and he contributed significantly to the development and reforms in nephrology sciences and dialysis and transplantation in AP and Telangana. He has contributed to research in the field of transplantation, immunology and rejection with Cornell University, USA, and CKD of unknown origin with Harvard University and ICMR, India. He brought about several reforms and innovations in medical education, examination, and teaching methodology while he was a Vice Chancellor of Dr. NTR UHS. Today, he is here with us to enlighten us regarding why organ donation matters. Namaste. Welcome to the live session, Doctor.
Namaste and good afternoon to all the viewers. I'm Dr. Ravi Raju. So today I would like to discuss something about organ donation, the scenario of organ donation in our country, how it all started, and what is the importance of organ donation, and who gets the benefit out of this organ donation, what are the various rules and regulations governing this. So you are free to ask me questions and I'm ready to answer.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you for giving us your valuable time. Doctor, why is organ donation important?
See, if you want to know why organ donation is important, you should know what is going to happen after organs are donated. So in our country, there is, or for that matter, anywhere in the world, large number of people are suffering from what is called end organ failure. So this organ may be kidney, it may be liver, it may be heart, or it may be several other organs in the body. These organs, once they fail, and they fail permanently, the individual has no other choice than to change this organ for a new one. But in the medical science, we have certain ways in which we can handle this organ failure. For example, all of you know very well that kidneys can fail and they can fail permanently. So in this situation, there is what is called a replacement for this kidney function in the form of dialysis. So you have several varieties of dialysis, and after employing this dialysis facility, so a lot of people are surviving and living for years together, or even for decades for that matter. But this may not be true with all other organs. The heart may fail permanently, where there is no replacement for heart. Similarly, the liver can fail, there is no replacement for liver. But in all these situations, a permanent kind of solution for this organ failure, to see that these patients survive well, they will have a normal lifespan, and they will have a good quality life, is only by replacing the organ with a new organ from a healthy individual. So this is what is called organ transplantation. So why is this important? Because for example, in our country, nearly 1 lakh to 1.5 lakh people are suffering from kidney failure. All of them require a new organ. Similarly, a large number of liver failure patients are waiting for transplantation. Same is true as far as the heart is concerned. So in all these situations, people are waiting for new organs and they have no other way but to get a new organ. So for all these people, a great boon is some organ coming from either a live individual or what is called a cadaver, that is a brain dead individual, where this organ can replace the function of the non-functioning organ in the body.
Thank you, doctor. Doctor, what are the type of organ donation?
See, there are broadly two varieties of organ donations. One is when a living individual donates an organ. For example, some kith and kin of an individual, they are suffering from kidney failure. So I'm taking kidney as a common thing because all of you know about kidney failure. You might have heard through the papers, through the media about people suffering from kidney failure and getting transplants. And you might be knowing several of your friends or relatives suffering from kidney failure and are undergoing dialysis and waiting for kidney transplantation or undergone kidney transplantation. So in all these people, one of the ways in which they get organ for transplantation is by getting an organ from a living individual. See, for example, an individual has a kidney failure, his brother or one of the siblings or his spouse or his parents, they donate the organ. Then this organ can be transplanted into this individual to see that he survives and has an excellent quality of life. So this type of transplantation is called living transplantation. So this is possible only when you have an organ to spare. This is more common in kidney transplant because, as all of you know, the human beings have two kidneys and one kidney is enough for a normal or a good survival. Even if you remove one kidney, when the two kidneys are functioning normally, the other kidney is enough to sustain your life, and so you can have a normal life. Whereas there are certain other organs like heart, where one cannot donate the organ because one has got only one heart. So this is kind of a living transplant, we call it. So whenever a living organ cannot be donated, we have the other way of taking out this organ from the healthy functioning organ from brain dead individuals. You know, several people die in accidents. They die, we call them, they are dead because the brain will not be functioning, but their hearts are beating and they will be breathing. There will be good blood flow to the organ, but still they will not survive because the brain is permanently damaged and they will not be able to survive for a long time. So if you take out these organs from the dead individual or the brain dead individuals and transplant them into those who require these organs, this type of transplantation is called a cadaver organ or a deceased donor organ transplantation. So that way you have two varieties of organ donations. One is from living individuals, the other one from brain dead individuals.
Okay, doctor. So, doctor, what organs can be donated?
So any organ, for example, can be donated. See, the commonest organ that can be donated is the cornea. Cornea is, as all of you know, is the white part in the front part of the eye. So a large number of human beings in our country, a large number of people in our country, they are becoming blind because of the opacities or disease of the cornea. So if you can remove the old cornea and place a new cornea, you will be giving a vision to these people. Lakhs and lakhs of people are suffering from lack of vision. They are blind people and they require cornea to be transplanted. So cornea can be removed from a dead individual, and this is one of the commonest organs for transplantation. Similarly, You can transplant kidneys, which are the next common organs for transplantation. You can also transplant the heart, can transplant the liver, you can transplant the lungs and also the pancreas. And rarely nowadays, even the hands are being transplanted. You might have heard or seen in the newspapers that even in our country, people who have lost their hands, they get a normal hand when it is transplanted from a dead individual. And in advanced countries, the developed countries like America, though it's not a very common thing, even the entire face is being transplanted. This is called a facial transplant. So like that, several organs in the body can be transplanted.
That is nice to hear, Doctor. Doctor, what does the law say about organ donation?
In our country, till 1994, there were no laws restricting any kind of transplantation in human beings. In 1994 in India and in 1995 in Andhra Pradesh, the government has brought out an act that is called Transplantation of Human Organs Act. So according to this, only the relatives or the first degree relatives of an individual can donate their organs to the patient who is suffering from an end organ failure. And if somebody else also wants to donate, it has to be what is called an altruistic donation. That means there cannot be any financial or material gain out of donation of the organ. So this is again accepted by the law, but the individual who wants to donate altruistically to a non-genetically related individual has to take permission from the government. Otherwise, one cannot donate an organ to any other individual. One has no right to donate the organs. So, secondly, in 1994 itself, the government of India has brought out or enacted one new law, whereby the brain death declaration has been made legal. So government has given certain criteria for declaring the brain death, and once brain death is declared, the organs can be removed from the body. This is what is called harvesting of organs. If you harvest the organs from the body, they can be transplanted into needy human beings. This is what is called a deceased donor organ transplantation. This has also come into vogue from 1995 onwards in our country, and after 2010, for the first time in India, in Andhra Pradesh, we have started one program called Jeevan Daan program. In fact, the name Jeevan Daan was suggested by me, and I was the person who has completely drafted the GO enacting this, the cadaver organ transplantation, streamlining the procedure, and also at the same time bringing out a very transparent and equitable distribution of organs from brain dead individuals to those who require organs. The organ may be kidney, the organ may be liver, the organ may be heart, or it may be pancreas. So this program has been named Jeevan Daan, and since then it has been running very successfully both in the two states of Andhra Pradesh. Both at the time it was a combined state, and now after the division of the state in 2014, from 2015 onwards, we have a separate Jeevan Daan program in Andhra Pradesh. So this program has been successfully running in our state, and more or less the same time, Tamil Nadu government also has started a similar program. So there are very few states in our country where there are laws enacted for equitable and also a transparent way of distribution of organs to the needy people by harvesting organs from brain dead individuals.
Okay, doctor. So, doctor, what are the lifespan for each organ to donate?
And also one important point I missed in the last question was not only the organ transplantation, organ procurement, and also the distribution of organs. But in our country, you cannot do the transplants unless the hospital is well recognized or authorized to do the transplantation. The authorization will be given by the government of that particular state. So just like other major surgeries, that may be heart or brain surgeries, where there is no special permission is required for carrying out these surgeries, the organ transplantation requires a special permission from government to do the transplantation or harvest the organs. The other question you were asking was?
What is the lifespan for each organ to donate?
To donate or the person who receives, there are two things in this. There's nothing like lifespan for the individual who donates. Normally, his health should be okay and the organ should be functioning well. We receive the organs from people who are generally below the age of 60 or maximum of 65. Because after that, the organ will have a natural dysfunction. So we do not take the organs from people who are above the age of 65 in general. But for those people who are receiving the organ will be functioning for a long time. There's no definite lifespan for this organ. And if everything goes well, we have people who are surviving with normal organ function after transplantation for more than 20-25 years also.
Okay. So doctor, what organ can we donate while somebody is alive?
Somebody is alive. I told you this is what is called a living donation. People who are living can donate organs to their near family members, and this is possible only when the organ is a paired structure. So the most common organ which can be donated by the living individual is the kidney. And sometimes the liver can also be taken out from a living individual because a part of the liver can be removed and transplanted into a deceased person. The liver has got a tremendous capacity to regenerate. And so even if you remove a part of the liver from a living individual, the remaining part of the liver will grow completely. Same thing will happen to the transplanted liver also. It also grows to the normal size. So liver and kidney are the two organs which can be, transplanted or donated by living individuals.
That was very informative, doctor. The next question is, how long can organs be preserved for transplantation?
And obviously you cannot donate your own heart because you have only one heart. Even though you have a very beloved person, you cannot donate your heart because you will not survive after donating that. This may happen only in movies, but not in real life.
Yes, doctor. So, doctor, the next question was, how long can organs be preserved for transplantation?
See, after donation from cadaver, living transplants, you don't preserve the organs. We transplant them immediately at the same time.
Okay.
So because the earlier the transplantation done, the better it is for the organ survival. But for the cadaver transplantation or the deceased donor transplantation, you can preserve the organs. For example, cornea can be preserved in banks for a very long time because cornea is an avascular organ, it's not a living tissue. Whereas other organs cannot be preserved like that for a long time. See, the kidneys can be preserved for a relatively longer time, up to 48 hours, and very rarely for 1 week also. Generally, we would like to transplant them at the earliest. But there are ways of preserving the organs for 24 to 48 hours, and even after that, when transplanted, kidney functions very well. Heart has to be transplanted as early as possible, preferably less than 6 hours. Same is true with the liver, maximum is 12 hours. So the transportation of organ from the place of harvesting to the site of transplantation should be minimum. That's why you might have seen that we arrange for green corridors. We transport the organs via helicopters and planes. And the quickest way to transport the organ is to be chosen Otherwise, the function of the organ will not be good.
Right, doctor. So, why is organ selling illegal?
Organ selling is illegal because it is unethical. You cannot exploit an individual. You cannot exploit an individual by offering him some material gains, financial gains, and benefit an individual who can afford to buy the organ from a person who is selling the organ. So all over the world, this kind of donation for gains is completely not acceptable. So legally, morally, and ethically, also transplanting the organs, taking them out from those who are donating them for material gains is to be strongly discouraged.
Right, doctor. So, what is the purpose of the National Organ Transplant Act?
See, the National Organ Transplantation Act. See, normally the health is a state government priority. So that is why all acts which are made by the center have to be accepted by the state governments because health is a concurrent policy. So even though the national health policy is there, individual states have to make their own policies. So every state in our country has its own health policy and also the organ donation or organ transplantation policy. For example, Andhra Pradesh has its own Human Organ Transplantation Act made 1 year after the central government has made it in 1994. Similarly, the cadaver or the deceased donor program, which is made in our state, has not been made in several states in the country. So like that you have this. This is very important because, especially in our country, the rich people, when they are suffering from some end organ failure, they are trying to exploit the poor people by purchasing the organs from those who are selling them. And so to discourage this, government has enacted this Human Organ Transplantation Act, which is very, very important and it has to be enforced meticulously. And that is the reason why Government of India has started this in 1994.
Right. So, doctor, how does organ donation work in India?
Organ donation and organ transplantation is working out very well in our country. The transplantation of human organs has been happening in our country right from 1970s onwards, but of late it has picked up very well, though not to the extent that it is catering to the needs of all the people suffering from end organ failure in our country. A lot has to be done regarding this. A lot of awareness has to be created regarding the donation of organs, the nobility of donating the organs, and also we should generate an empathy among the society, in the members of the society, to donate human organs so that it will be very useful to those who are suffering from end organ failures. And the governments also should make every effort to see that the organs are distributed equitably to the needy people. There should not be any priorities basing on any other means apart from the requirement of the human organs. And also the distribution has to be very transparent. So that should be the ultimate aim of the government of Andhra Pradesh and also government of India. And this is what is going on in our country now.
Right. So, doctor, can you just explain what is the statistics in India 2018 regarding this organ donation? How is the statistics going?
Statistics in the sense, in our state, I can tell you, by and large, in the entire country, somehow documentation of the medical facts is not very good in our country, as all of you know. So for that matter, we are not sure how many people in our country are suffering from very common problems like diabetes. We are not sure how many of the Indians are suffering from a common problem like hypertension. Similarly, we have no accurate data regarding the number of people suffering from end organ failure in our country. This is a very sad state of affairs. Whereas you find a similar situation in the advanced countries, they have exact figures regarding any organ. So in our country, we do not know. In our state also, we do not know how many living transplants are going on in 1 year, let alone 2018. Only thing I can tell you in 2018, around 30 to 40 brain dead individuals have donated their organs. So of these, double the number of kidneys have been transplanted. Let us say 70 to 80 kidneys might have been transplanted. So the government has to come out with exact figures. The doctors also have to keep proper record maintenance. Otherwise, we will not be able to tell you how many transplants are going on in the country, how many organs are being harvested in the country also.
So, doctor, can you just give an idea to all our viewers about what organs cannot be transplanted?
There's nothing like the particular organ cannot be transplanted. If it's a diseased organ, you cannot transplant that. Otherwise, you can transplant. Now, people are even trying to transplant the brain. As I told you, the hands are being transplanted. The first hand transplant has happened in Cochin.
Okay. So, and one more question, doctor, regarding this. How long can donated organs last outside the body in diseased donations?
I told you we can preserve the organs. For example, if it is kidney, for around 48 hours. And the heart and liver, they require to be transplanted very early, not more than 6 to 12 hours. Heart, 6 hours.
Okay, right, doctor. So, who can pledge to donate organs? Is there any specific age or specific people?
See, the pledging for to donate an organ is mainly to create an awareness. To create an awareness among the society, among the individuals, and also, as I told you, to create some kind of an empathy towards those people who are suffering from organ dysfunctions. So, merely by giving a consent, even if you become brain dead after some time, the organ cannot be harvested from you. Only when you become brain dead, your kith and kin or the nearest relative of you has to give a consent, then only the organ can be harvested. So anyone can give a consent.
That's nice, doctor. So, doctor, as you have mentioned many times, brain death. So, what is brain death?
Brain death is normally, as you know, you call an individual from times immemorial. You call an individual is dead when the heart stops. Till then, you don't declare death. So this has been happening for a very long time. And the general understanding of all the doctors and also the public is when the heart is not beating and permanently stops, then you call an individual as dead. But several times, even before the heart stops, or even before you stop breathing, the brain may become non-functional permanently. So it is not the brain; it is usually the brain stem that becomes non-functional. Then we call it brain stem death. So this is what is there. When the brain stem is the area which contains the vital centers for the beating of the heart and the respirations. When the brainstem doesn't function, we have certain methods to make out whether the brainstem is functioning or not. When the brainstem function is not there, you call it as a brain dead individual. If an individual's brainstem is not functioning, the vital functions of the body like heartbeat and respiration will also stop during the next 72 hours. Till now, no individual properly declared to be brain dead has become alive by any means. So this is a kind of a permanent death. But still the heartbeat will be there. Sometimes the respiration will be there.
Now we get it, doctor. So, doctor, can organs be donated after death?
See, after death means cardiac death. This is what is called. There are two types of deaths, as I was telling you. One is the brainstem death. The other one is cardiac death. Brainstem death, then you can harvest the organs. That is what is happening all over the world, all over our country. This is what is called diseased donor organ transplantation and harvesting of organs in brain dead individuals. But sometimes you can also harvest organs from those whose heart also has stopped before a particular period of time. So this is called donation after death, donation after cardiac death, DCD. So this is also possible, but still in our country there is no law to allowing us to harvest organs from cardiac dead individuals. There are certain countries in the world where this is legalized and they are doing transplantation by harvesting organs from cardiac dead individuals.
Okay, right, doctor. So, doctor, what are the legal concerns during donation?
Legal consent, one has to give a consent, but his consent during life is not acceptable. The consent has to be given by the individual who is in possession of legal possession of the body, like their relatives. So if they give consent, then the organs can be harvested.
So, doctor, is the family asked for permission for donation even if a signed donor card is found?
Yes, this is what I was telling you. A signed donor card is only for creating an awareness and also publicizing. Rather than it's not a legal permission. So you cannot harvest the organ simply because the individual has given a permission before death. Only the relatives have to give the permission after the individual becomes brain dead.
Right, doctor. So, and also one more question what we have, doctor. Can you just give a general picture to all our viewers about what are the steps of the transplant process?
Oh, the steps of the transplant are very complicated and it depends upon the organ. And I don't think it's an easy task for me to tell you all that in 5-10 minutes.
Okay, understood, doctor. So, what are the cons of organ donation?
Cons means the best thing is you are giving life to an individual who is not going to survive for long, who has an end organ failure. It may be heart failure, it may be liver failure, it may be lung failure, whatever it is. They have no other way. So unless somebody donates an organ and it is transplanted into him. So you are giving not only life, you are giving a good quality life to those people. So this is a great boon you are giving to an individual who is destined to die very soon.
Very true, doctor. So, doctor, how do we educate people on organ donation?
So educate the people is by publicizing that there are a large number of people suffering from end organ failures requiring organs. And the only course for them to live is through transplantation. So by donating the organs to them, or allowing the brain dead individuals to donate the organs is a very noble cause. You will be giving life to them. So this kind of nobility of donation of the organs has to be brought to the, has to be thoroughly publicized among the society. And also you have to tell them that it's an empathy, you should not sympathize with those who are suffering from organ failures. So they have a dignity of life. So that is why you have to empathize with them. You have to you have to see that by donating these organs, they will live longer and they will have a good quality of life. And second thing is, um, you should see that the organ donation has to be made without any selfish motive. So it has to be done altruistically. So that is the other way in which you can encourage them. Third thing is, you should see that you should also educate the public by allowing the organs to be harvested from brain dead individuals. You are not disfiguring the body of the dead individual. And there are several notions among the public. For example, one common notion among the public, which I heard people asking me several times when we talk about this organ donation, is there is a belief that if you remove the organ from this individual during this life, when he is reborn during his next birth, he will be born without this organ. So such kind of myths are there among the public, which we have to dispel so that they will come forward and allow organs to be harvested from their near relatives when they happen to be brain dead because of an unfortunate accident. There are several countries in the world, very advanced countries also, where organ donation is not acceptable. People think twice before accepting an organ from a dead individual. They think that this is an unsafe thing, or this is not a sacred one. So you cannot accept an organ from a dead individual. For example, Japanese have a strong belief, and so they do not very well accept the organ. This was a few years ago. Slowly, because of the awareness creation and also the knowledge gained by the people, then the people are accepting and they are allowing organ donation and organ transplantation. So like that, if you clear off all the myths about organ donation and acceptance of organs from dead individuals, then this becomes a very popular thing and very useful for those who are suffering from end organ failures.
Right, doctor. This was very informative. So, just to educate all of us, doctor, just wanted to ask, what organs one can live without?
And one more important thing, no religion in the world is against organ donation. People have a belief that certain religions do not allow organ harvesting and organ donation, but virtually every religion in the world allows organ donation. So you are saying that which organs, one kidney, suppose there is only one kidney in the body, that is okay. People live, they are born with single kidney. Sometimes one kidney is removed because it is diseased. Sometimes because they donate kidney, they will have only one kidney. So this is okay. But otherwise, one cannot live without a heart, as you know. One cannot live without a liver. And yes.
So finally, doctor, what is the take-home message?
Take-home message is organ donation is a noble thing. People should come out, discuss freely about organ donation, encourage everyone to donate the organs whenever that unfortunately you don't expect or you don't wish that this unfortunate thing happens to an individual by which he gets involved in an accident or becomes brain dead. But still, when it happens, you should be bold and encourage the near relatives to see that the organs are donated to those who are in need of it. And the governments also should enact make proper acts to see that all these organs are allocated to the needy, and this allocation has to be very equitable and also a transparent manner. So then the entire process of organ transplantation becomes very popular and it will be very useful to the society. So you cannot simply waste the organs, because the only way normally dead individual is either buried or cremated. So by which process the organs which are likely to function in another individual for a very long time will be wasted. So if you bring out this as a take-home message to the entire society, then it will be very useful to those who are suffering from end organ failures.
That's great, doctor. Thank you, doctor, for answering all the queries. I hope all the doubts of all our viewers are cleared. Thank you for educating us. It's a privilege to have you with us. Thank you, viewers. Thank you for watching us.
Thank you very much.